Hello everybody, today I'm just experimenting with cloud variables. I've read about them. Variables. I've read about them, but I'm curious about their limitations and how exactly they work. So the way I understand it, you need to be a scratcher, which you are granted after a while of using Scratch, if you agree to some terms of how you'll behave on the site. And once you are a scratcher, then when you make a variable, you can click cloud variable stored on server. As you can see, you can't make a cloud variable that's for this sprite only. You can only make globals, and the basics of cloud variables that I understand are that they are stored on the server as they change as different people start using your program, your project, and do things that cause your code to write new values to the cloud variable. Then that cloud variable will get updated on the server pretty close to real time, within some number of milliseconds, or certainly sometimes less than a second, and then that new value will propagate to everyone else. So some questions I have about that are, I've read that you can only stick numbers in a cloud variable, but I have also read that it can have many characters, hundreds or maybe even thousands. So I'm curious what the limit exactly is. I've seen several different pieces of conflicting information about it. And the other thing that I'm curious about is what happens when multiple people update it. So I know that with variables in Scratch, you can either set or change, and it should actually be possible for those two operations to happen on variables without them conflicting with each other. There's a classic computer science thought experiment or a toy example of two absent-minded computer science professors that are keeping count of something by using a blackboard. And the way that they work is forever they will read the value of their variable, which we can't really demonstrate here. So let's say we had some blackboard, or we'll actually call this my copy, and then we had like a blackboard which was shared between them. Please note, cloud variables only support numbers, not letters or symbols. Learn more. I've never actually clicked that before, so never saw this FAQ. They allow for data from a project to be saved and shared with other people. You can make surveys, projects, who can see variables. The data can be stored along with a username, but doesn't have to, and others can view it. What types of data can be stored in cloud variables? Only numbers. You can report if someone's doing something bad. You can make chat rooms. That's how to make it. Who can change? Only you and your viewers of your project. If people see inside, it creates a copy of the variable and does not affect the original. I'm logged in. It's possible to make multiplayer games. And that's the end of the questions there. So there's this, going back to the professors, there's this shared blackboard that both of them are looking at. And so let's say initially the blackboard is 0, then each professor will set my copy to whatever's on the blackboard. So they'll remember what they saw on the blackboard, then they'll go off and they'll think, and then what they'll actually do is change their copy by 1 to add a new count to it, and then set the blackboard back to my copy. So the problem with this is that in the meantime, after they copied, let's say the number was 0, they copied 0 into my copy, changed it by 1. In the meantime, another professor might have come and updated the number. So the number on the blackboard is now 1 or 2 or 3, but this professor will erase the blackboard and overwrite it with his or her copy of the number that they had taken down before. So instead of the number going up from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, it will go down from 2 to 1. So this has all kinds of real-world applications, like when YouTube counts your videos, they wouldn't want your count to go down because of a bug like this. So it's important to have the implementation of something like a cloud variable be consistent. And the way Scratch might be doing it is, because there's only 2 operations, and either of them might be happening at any time, situations where a change happens, you can get that to be consistent, because at the very end, when the number is getting written into a database somewhere, you can keep track of the fact that you don't know what the number is, but you just want to change it, and finally that last database will be the one to make this change to the variable. And then with set, you don't care what was there before, you just overwrite it. And so the issue will come in where these two are happening in close succession to each other. And so sometimes what I imagine is that the change will happen first, and then it'll just get overwritten by someone else's set. But then other times the set will happen first, and it'll just get overwritten by somebody's change. And for the most part, your Scratch program shouldn't care about the difference between those two. So since I have this cloud variable called blackboard already, I guess let me try and play around with it. So the first thing that I want to do is try to set it to something that's not a number. Interestingly, that looks like it worked. So let me hit save and reload this and see what happens. It changed back to 0. So I am not sure what exactly that means. I'm going to actually open another web browser. So hold on for a second. I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. I was just trying to log into a separate profile that I had created before. So I have two web browsers going now, one of which is logged into my main account and another one which is logged into this test account that I created for this purpose. And it looks like I'll need to share this project. So if in one of these projects I set Blackboard to A, in the other project nothing seems to happen yet. If I set it to 1, on the other hand, I'd be expecting that this would update. Maybe I need to run it. Let me reload this page. Oh, it says changes to your site. Changes you made may not be saved. Let's save the project. So in this project, Blackboard is set to 1, and in this one, it is not. It could be that it's because this other profile is not a scratcher. Oh, no, there we go. It got set to 1. So let's change it to 2. This is taking longer than I would have expected. Maybe it had to do with the reload. Maybe as more people are using cloud variables, the servers are overloaded. Maybe there's not enough updates. So, let me try doing this. So here I will change Blackboard by 1, and we'll just start this going. Maybe I need to reload this entire thing too. In any case, the experiment I wanted to do up front to check to see if letters were acceptable looked like it worked temporarily, but it didn't actually save to the server. And this updated once, but hasn't updated again since. Maybe there's a longer delay for new scratchers than for new scratchers than for full scratchers. So right now this is increasing quickly, but certainly not quickly enough to test any limits. Alright, so it looks like it's actually a floating point number. That is not what I was expecting. So I wonder if adding to this number does something differently than if we use join. So I'd expect that adding in this way would cause this variable to be treated as a number in JavaScript. Ultimately, Scratch 3 is implemented in JavaScript, so this would be a IEEE floating point number. Whereas if we use join, these are acting on strings of characters. So if we took something, effectively we're doing the dueling professors problem here, but if we took the copy of Blackboard and added some digit before it, we could add some random digit between 0 and 9, say. So, and then we'll set the, instead of change Blackboard by that much. Although that would actually be a good experiment too. So we'll change Blackboard. This, I'm expecting, is now going to be a string that looks like a number. And we'll stick it in here and see what that does. Oh, that went up to infinity. I wonder if that's storable in a cloud variable. Let's hit reload and see what happens. Save now. Reload. That's not infinity. Let's click this one time. Maybe some of the updates didn't get processed. So if I remember right, this should end somewhere around 10 to the 200 something power. This E plus means that it's the rest of this number times 10 to the 87th power, meaning after this number there's another 87 zeros. Sorry, this decimal point should move over 87, and then when it gets to the end it'll keep adding zeros until it's moved 87 times. This is taking a while. Use it repeat because we don't want to go too fast. I think it's somewhere around here. Let's save now. See if that saves. That did save. Is this where I think it is? No, it does go up above that. There, it looked like 307. Let's try with the infinity. It didn't save the infinity again. There we go. Save. Ah, it went back down to 200 something. So that's 10 to the 306. Oh, it jumped back down again. I wonder if we're above some limit. I'm just curious if this ever updated. Oh, it did! Wait, that got 306. Even though this one jumped down below 306. This is a little bit surprising to me. So it could be that the updates are actually arriving out of order. Like if I change this to 1 and then 2 and then 3. I guess I'm wondering if it's possible for this other project to receive 3 before it receives 2. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that when this project reloads, it actually is looking at something further back in history than this project was seeing. So this project was seeing a more up-to-date version than even this project was. Even though this project was the one that pushed the updates into the server in the first place. Oh, that was interesting. At first it loaded with +306 and then it dropped back down to 256. Maybe this is the more up-to-date one and this one just hasn't caught up yet? Yeah, it could be that this got all the way up to 306 and then I reloaded the project, and when I did that it retrieved an older version of the variable, and then I hit this, which was exactly the Blackboard problem, where I added something to the old version, and then that got written in as the latest version, and then this project here just hasn't caught up yet. There we're at 307. Let's move this around so we can hit save now again. I wonder if that propagated over here. 307. Okay. So it looks like we need to reload this new Scratcher account to see the latest version, but it does see the updates eventually. So I'm going to hit that, and that takes us to infinity. And then let's save this again, and then we'll reload. And, ooh, that is interesting. That is not what I was expecting at all. I was expecting either 307 or infinity. Maybe when it gets to infinity it always jumps back down to this value. So how would we test that? We'll go up to like, I don't know, 272. That's a number that you can remember is different from these other ones. Let's make sure that propagated. 272, so that's saved. And then now we'll go all the way up to infinity and see if it jumps down below 272 again. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's get rid of this block so I don't make that mistake again. Alright, there we go. Save now. And then we'll reload. Let's reload this one. 0. $201 now. Let's try it again. Save now. 0. And this one is 202. Very odd. There's another floating point number. I can't say that I understand what's going on. Maybe I'll try to ask on the forums. There's another floating point number that's interesting to look at, which I think that doesn't create. It's called not a number. And if 1 divided by 0 doesn't do it, in Scratch, I could have sworn wonder if maybe try 0 divided by 0. There we go. So if we set that to not a number, it doesn't even update it. Maybe when you try to set a variable in Scratch, like literally any variable, it will refuse to take on not a number value. No, that worked. So there's something about cloud variables. Remember that 1 divided by 0 was saying infinity, so what about infinity divided by infinity? That's also not a number. Nope, it doesn't go into the blackboard. Alright, I'm satisfied that I don't understand exactly what's happening with infinity. Hello, Aryan's World of Study and Gaming. Right now I'm just trying to understand cloud variables. So, what I was going to do was, let's first clear out the blackboard variable. We'll set it to 0 here, and then here save now. Okay, so we've set blackboard to 0, and then I wanted to try using the string where we prepend this number as a string instead of... Oh, and that still treats it as a number. I may need to look at a tutorial. Some sort of cloud variable encoding tutorial somewhere. There. Encoding and decoding cloud data. So you're setting data to C. This is using join. So we're appending 0 here. Yeah, it's just doing joins. I3 is a number. These are all numbers. So there is this reference to there being 256 characters. So if we set blackboard back to 0, let me stop using this flag, because that's not giving me enough control. So set that to 0, and then we'll... Oh, did I use change instead of set? That would have been a problem. Oh, that's much better. I must have been using change before accidentally. So now, theoretically, we should be able to run this 255 times. Oh, hey Aryan, if you have anything that you find, definitely type it in the chat. So we should be able to do 255. And that will get us up to 256. So set to 0, and then there we go, I guess. Oh, except this is my new Scratcher account, so we might not actually be able to send data. So this should be, oh yeah, here's the proof. I did change instead of set. So get rid of that. We'll do that and then repeat this 255 times. There's a big long number, and then when we reload this page, which is fine. There we go. Now let's try doing this one more time. I guess we'll need to check the length. Let's check the length of where'd it go here? Check the length of Blackboard. 256, and we'll click this one more time. And this says 257. And let's save again. But we'll see if that actually saved. Here, 257. So I guess this was 2018. Like I said at the beginning, there's some conflicting information about length. So let's try this again. 512, 767. I don't know if that, oh, I'm doing it on the wrong side again. 512, 767. Let's hit save again. Reload this. This says still 1454. Well, that's correct. Now what? 1022. 1022, so that still works. I'm guessing 1024 could be a reasonable limit. Let's see if we can do 1025. So on this side, it's 1025, and on this side, it's 1025. That was not what I was expecting. Here's 2045. Not sure why saving helps. Doesn't seem like it should make any difference. Maybe it's just a placebo for me. 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048. $2048, 2049. Huh. So let's try another 1024. 2 more times. That takes us to 4098. That still seems to work. So we'll do another 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8194. that still worked. Let's do another one. That may not have worked. 9218. No, that still worked. Let's do this 3 more times, and then change this to 4096. Right. By the way, either Ariane or for anyone listening in the comments later, if you know why I'm picking these numbers to test, leave a comment. I'll just leave it unsaid. Maybe cover it in a separate video later. So we'll try this again. 2, 3, 4. Okay, 32,000. That's actually quite a lot of data. Oh, hit some kind of race condition there. This may not work. It's about 65,000. So, curious. 67, 436. Oh, interesting. Also not expecting this. 895243. Huh. What happens if I reload this page? Huh. That was also unexpected. By me, I was not expecting that. Okay, I'm definitely not sure what's going on. Now if I save this 256 length one, that should update. It's difficult to tell what's going on. I think it'd be easier if I had to scratch our accounts, because it'd be a little bit clearer which issues were, because this wasn't automatically updating. I think the limit was 65 536, right? So let's try that. 65 535. Let's clear it out. Let's make sure that 0 propagates. There, 0. So we'll do this. And it's running. And it's running. There, 65 536. Let's hit save on this again. And then this. Alright, so that much data goes through. And we'll click this one more time. 65 537. And we'll see what happens. Oh, that's fine. If data is not saved. And happened. Oh, that worked. So I might have just been adding data too quickly before. Got one more. Huh. Let's try repeating by $65. Added 2, so 1022. Let me not try to click on this again. 73,728. That's quite a lot of data, actually. Oh, that was interesting. 73, and it jumped back down to 50. I didn't do anything to change it to 50. So, if the number gets too high, it seems like it jumps back down to some value in some way that I don't understand. And previously this was 73,728. This will probably be faster and less hard on the Scratch servers if I just do all these joins locally. So we can use our my copy variable. So set my copy to 0 and then repeat that many times and set my copy to prepend, and then finally we'll set Blackboard to my copy like that. So let's try that. Save. Seven three seven two nine. Let's try this. 73. So we know. Let's write down a note. 73729. 73729. Characters works. Let's change it so that it's easier to get a readout. Hello, Lily. 7. Right now, I'm just trying to see what the maximum length of a cloud variable is, because I've seen several conflicting pieces of information. There's some strange behavior when you go over the maximum length. Ha! What's my real name? My real name is Game Titan. Oh, there. Let's get rid of that green flag. It's causing a problem. Huh. So 77825 works. Let's make a note of this. 77825. We should probably actually binary search. Let me do a bigger jump. 81920. That still works. Let's try 90,000. That still works. 98,000. Maybe like 120,000. Maybe the problem before was I was calling set too many times. Maybe let's save over here. Maybe like 200,000. That's crazy. 500,000. Huh. No wonder all these inefficient encoding systems are working just fine. 1 million. I wonder if all the data is actually there. Seems like it should be. Try like 10 million. That's a really large amount of data. If every project has 10 cloud variables and they all have 10 megabytes, it's 100 megabytes. I seriously doubt this will work. Or maybe it will, and something's actually wrong with this experiment. taking a while. So we did see, oh, that broke the local variable. Not sure if this is a problem displaying the value because the script is still running. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. I guess we could try saying it. Although the say block probably can't handle that large of a variable either, so if this, okay, project could not save. Maybe because the variable is too big. Maybe I need to hit. Let's see. My copy is probably too big. Look at how laggy this is. Oh, it's so slow. Here, drag this in. Oops, what happened? Let me actually hit stop. If I can. And then here, we'll set my copy to 0. There we go. Right, so that just broke everything. So 1 million worked. We could try 4 million. Let's try turning this off. That might make things faster too. Oh, that's interesting. So it is a display problem. I guess at some point, if the variable becomes too long, then this debugging output doesn't work. It says it has 4,000,001 bytes in there, or 4,000,001 digits. So I guess let's try to save that. It didn't even work. Alright, so I suppose there may be other issues beyond just the limits here. If we tried 2 million, we could try that. Let's clear both of these out then. And then run this. Save. So we ran into trouble saving the project. I'm not sure if this is an issue when you actually run the game. I'm imagining a scenario where you start out with something that can work. So let's turn this back to 1 million because that's saved. Try again. So let's clear this out and then try again. So you have a 1 million long. Here, let's also put the green flag back in. Let's see. So we've saved this project with a 1 million long blackboard, right? About 1 million. And then Let's say we go back to the project page and reload. Is that going to be saved in here? Blackboard is 0. This is very odd. Is this maybe a situation where it's working in the editor, but it's not actually working in the editor, but it's not actually gonna work for a visitor. So let's switch this back to 65 by 30. 6. Start with the blank string. So we'll go to the project page and reload. That didn't save. Ah, so the experiment that we're running was not correct. It was not correct, so let's try 32,768. Save. Go back to the project and reload and click. Alright, I don't know why this one has it, but this one does not. Maybe we need to do this while we're on this screen. So we'll have the up arrow, say add all of this data. Do something like this. Set both of them to blank. I will set Blackboard, no. No, we don't want to do that. We want to copy Blackboard locally and then clear it. Actually, it doesn't matter if we clear it. Then hello, it was the potato. Then we'll make my copy longer than it used to be, longer than the copy of Blackboard by 32,768, and then we'll set that back into Blackboard. So I'll start out by setting this to blank now. Maybe this will be down arrow. The name of my account, it's just the same thing on Scratch. So say down arrow to clear everything out, and we'll do up arrow to add 32,768 to new characters to the cloud variable. So save in order to do this on the project page because of what we just found. Reload this. Hit down arrow, that clears everything out. Oh, we should have the cat say the length each time. Say, make a function for this. Say length. That will do this. And so we'll do that when the project starts. We'll do it when we hit space just for debugging, and we'll do it after we modify the cloud variable. I will follow you later. It was the potato, if I haven't already. Alright, oh, didn't mean to do that. So hit down arrow, that clears everything, up arrow, and then this starts with 683699, and then we'll see if that loads here too. Maybe the cloud variable values in the editor is different than the ones on either that or this is too big of a number. Possibly too big of a number. I guess we could reload this page and see if it's still there. It's not still there. So let's make this smaller. Let's change this to 16384 maybe. 16. Save. Go to the project page. Oh, that did work. 32,000. It just took a long time, I guess. Super confusing. It's hard to tell what's latency and what's what. They both agree at 0 now. Let me try that again. 16,384. I guess that's not reliable. Let's try 8192. Save. See project page, reload. Alright, let's try. The odd thing is I saw one of the updates come through over here. Maybe that goes through and then it gets rejected later. Like the update actually works and then gets reset afterwards. $96. Alright, let's try something small. We know for sure 256 was supposed to work. Hmm. Hmm. Huh, yeah, I'm sure it happens. Do you know if that's just from the initial start of streaming, or is somehow when you're streaming, if that is bothering people somehow? I haven't used this enough to know. Oh, there we go. That did work, so that should propagate here now. So 256, no, it's not visible here. This is so odd. Let's see inside. Oh, sorry. By the way, if anyone is on Scratch right now, if you could look at this project and see if you see 256, the cat saying 256, and let me know, because when I load it here, this is like a new Scratcher account, it's still saying 0. But when I reload it here, the 256 did seem to get into the database. Zero. I can't tell if this is lag. Let me hit reload on this one again. So odd. Let me hit up arrow again to add more data to it. Oh, I know what I could do. I could hit new tab over here. That still says 256. Oh, now it's a 0. But it's clearly not 0. So, this is pretty messed up. This is the... Wait, is that the old value? Hold on, I can actually rewind on the stream to see what's going on. It's pretty nutty. Okay, so this was the 256 length value. But now it says the length is 0. Oh, and now it says 256 again. Probably if I reload this. Ah, alright. So maybe what happens is as you go above the limit, which I suspect is 256 as is documented, then the behavior gets odd. Like it saves for a little bit, but then, or it saves locally, but then the server somehow sends like some kind of revocation or rejection. I guess we can test this. We're at 256 now, so up arrow is adding another 256, so we'll make right arrow do that, and up arrow will add 1. Save that. Alright, let's double check. 256. Yeah, I mean 256 is 8 bits, so I'm guessing that's what's going on. So you get 10 bytes effectively per project of storage. So let's try that, 257. And the new first number is a 7. So I'll reload over here. Still says 256. Even though this one hadn't. Oh, finally this one's updated. 256. So presumably, if you look now, you should see 256. So I don't quite understand what happens to the value when you go over the limit, but it does look like 256 is the limit. So if each of those is 10 possible digits, then okay, that's good. If each of those is 10, it'd be 10 to the, what is that, 10 to the 256 power? Yeah, 10 to the 256. That just makes sense. What is your channel? Who are you asking? I think the channels are... Oh, I probably have to post it, don't I? Hold on. I am clearly not very good at YouTube. Oh, there's two different subscriptions menus. No? Alright, let me just search. You're actually hard to find. Oh, there, you click on the hamburger menu and then you scroll down and that's where it shows you your subscriptions. There. Alright, that's been a while. Let's see if the 257 propagated. Nope, 256. So that's 10 to the 256 power, effectively, which is a huge number of states. I don't remember how to do the math for this. It'd be like do 2 to the x. $850. Two to the 850. Yeah, 2 to the x. It's 850 bits. Alright, that's pretty interesting. Let me just try one more time. It's still 256. So 850 bits is about 100 bytes, 100 something, 106. 106 bytes. So uncompressed, that's about a little bit more than one line of text per variable. So you get about 10 of those. That's not very much. With a better compression algorithm, maybe it'd be possible to fit a bit more. I don't know how fast a normal compression algorithm will be because Scratch is missing a bunch of bitwise operations that you probably need. Okay, well, I think I kind of figured out what I wanted to here. We can reload this one more time. And it's still 256. We'll reload this one too. And yeah, that last change got rejected. So the documentation is correct, even though there was some weird behavior earlier in this video that I still don't totally understand. Thank you all for joining. It was nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of. And if you're watching this later, please subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up button. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.